Hello there, and welcome. I'm Royce Pentaghast. I'm an artist, writer, designer, and Star Wars fan. If you watched The Mandalorian, you might remember a blue alien fella from Season 1 and 2. Named Mithril, as both a species and a character, he's the first example of a brand new Star Wars alien design. The second example would appear only a few weeks later in the background of The Rise of Skywalker, played by Larry David's manager, of all people. The two aliens were designed independently, one as a featured player, the other as a background extra, but were made into the same species by lawkeeper Pablo Hidalgo. These two examples show a great deal of variety in the alien's appearance that would be interesting to explore in future, so long as they cast more carefully. Star Wars is not the product of a sole creative. There's hundreds, thousands of writers, artists and designers contributing to the universe, building upon and sometimes contradicting each other, leading to some unusual outcomes. The Twi'leks were introduced in Return of the Jedi, with Oola and Bib Fortuna, but as the species wasn't named for years after, it's hard to know if these two were designed with the intention of being of the same people. There'd be some confusion around the specifics of their design at the time of the prequels, which sometimes happens to this day. If you haven't, I recommend checking out my Twi'lek video for a deeper dive on their design oddities. Zabraks from The Phantom Menace were represented by Darth Maul, but also Eeth Koth, Agen Kolar, Maris Brood and Sugi. The horns and tattoos are shared elements, but Maul was initially designed to have a feather crown that was reinterpreted as horns. Were these guys meant to all be the same? Who knows? All said to be hailing from the world of Iridonia, George Lucas himself retconned Maul and his brothers as being from the planet of Dathomir. With distant Iridonian origins, they developed into something unique and distinct. Ratatak Asajj Ventress was made into a Dathomirian as well. Togruta are so visually distinct, they're recognisable even with design tweaks, and while the original costume may have been uncomfortable, the concessions made to the length of Ahsoka's headtails is disappointing. Check out my Togruta video for more. But it's not just aliens. Clones were the precursors to stormtroopers, their armour infusing elements of Mandalorians. Their armour for the movies was entirely computer generated, based on sketches and a maquette, a concept sculpture that had the details refined and expanded upon for the final models. The clones of the movies are the models that all renditions are compared to, and clone armour enthusiasts can even spot which video game models artists reference when drawing them. Here's a challenge for you. Recent TV productions have used real actors in armour for clones, with a few design concessions made for the realities of performance. But the clones of the series Ahsoka were not based on those from the movies, but rather directly from the original maquette. These clones may look the part at a glance, but they're lacking details from the movies, and are weirdly proportioned, looking more like knockoffs or bootlegs. Now these clones do appear in a vision, a dream sequence of sorts, so you could argue that the details not matching makes sense. Not even Ahsoka resembles what we know her to look like, even if she's now dressed better. Trust me, I understand the logic of dreams. I have a lot of dreams in my local town that it's a lot different and cooler than reality, but it's not often that you see that level of thought or attention to detail put into productions. These clones weren't designed to look weird because it's a dream. They were just designed this way and ended up looking weird. Works for the dream sequence, but when these clones are showing up in official guidebooks as official depictions of what this armour looks like, that's when you start to have issues. Or at least I do, because I'm a big nerd. Now the clone in the game Zero Company has his armour based more closely on that seen in the dream sequence of Ahsoka. The Togruta of the game looks more like live action Ahsoka, with the painted raisin look for the headpiece, as cosplayer Ashla's Workshop said. Even Ryloth, the homeworld of the Twi'leks, is covered in the fog we thought was just another symptom of Ahsoka's memories, and a quick turnaround production. I'm a big proponent of explaining differences away, like, these different looking models of the same droid are from different factories. Ahsoka is a different ethnicity to Shakti, but it seems with the Zero Company game, these designs are further cementing these changes from the originals as canon. I won't go so far as to say that they're, straight up replacing them. Yet. And true, there's some things like Ahsoka's original outfit that's best left in the past, but I hope we continue to see some diversity in these designs that show just how vast this galaxy far, far away really is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos and stay tuned for more. Not just Star Wars, but a whole lot of other stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.